One watch, one system, one near miss that shook the casino floor. We're counting down 10 layers of this high-stakes showdown between a covert wearable device and the surveillance empire built to stop it, from hidden hardware and haptic codes to the single bet that brought it all crashing down. Each entry raises the tension, starting at number 10, the device itself. In 10th place, a single confiscated smartwatch sits at the center of the story. A device now locked away, its secrets unconfirmed. Despite its pivotal role, no public teardown or lab analysis has ever surfaced. Investigators seized the watch, but all that exists are educated guesses. A microcontroller to process signals, a haptic motor for silent cues, and a radio chip, Bluetooth or RF, capable of receiving covert instructions. The absence of a forensic report leaves a gap, forcing reliance on circumstantial details and the device's sudden removal from the casino floor. The watch's true capabilities remain a mystery. Its hardware a black box that taunts both the player who wore it and the security teams determined to expose its function. Every unanswered question about its internals raises the stakes, setting the stage for the device's shadowy role in the events that followed. Number 9. The daily workflow unfolded with a precision that bordered on ritual. The player entered the casino, pausing just long enough for the watch to pair with a hidden beacon, an entry handshake that set the system in motion. Each session followed a strict cadence. Every 30 to 45 seconds, a dealer hand triggered a silent cue, and within a narrow window of 2 to 3 seconds, the player had to interpret the signal and act. This relentless loop, cue, bet, confirm, demanded total focus. 5-minute training drills had drilled latency into muscle memory, minimizing hesitation under pressure. The routine was designed to blend seamlessly into the ambient rhythm of the casino floor, masking the device's presence in plain sight. Yet every cycle brought a fresh risk. A single misstep, a fraction too slow or too precise, could draw unwanted attention. In this tightly choreographed dance, the system's feasibility depended not just on technology, but on the player's ability to operate at the edge of detection. In 8th place, the system's edge began with how it acquired its data. Every table ran on a backbone of live management software, constantly tracking the shoe's composition, dealer actions, and betting patterns. Internal Wi-Fi feeds, meant for operational oversight, leaked real-time shoe data with a delay of only a few seconds, just enough for an alert player to act before the information lost value. But the real vulnerability lay in the rhythm of the table itself. Dealers, trained for efficiency, settled into predictable tempos, cards dealt at near-perfect intervals, shuffles and payouts following a metronomic cadence. This operational regularity turned human mechanics into a data stream as exploitable as any digital feed. By tapping into these patterns, whether through network sniffing or simply observing the timing, the system could anticipate outcomes with unsettling accuracy. The raw data, both digital and analog, formed the lifeblood of the watch's predictions, laying the groundwork for every encoded signal that followed. Number 7. The entire system pivots on a silent language of touch. Instead of glancing at a screen or waiting for a beep, the player receives rapid-fire vibration codes, short pulses for conservative actions and double pulses for aggressive moves. Each cue travels from the watch to the wrist in under a second, demanding an instant, nearly reflexive response. The codebook is simple but ruthless. 1 buzz means bet small. 2 buzzes mean push the limit. A third, sharper vibration confirms the action, locking in the stake and preventing costly mistakes. If the player starts to drift above their preset bankroll, a longer, insistent alert warns them to dial back. Every signal bypasses the eyes, moving straight from device to muscle memory, eliminating the visual tells that surveillance cameras hunt for. In this compressed window, the line between human instinct and machine command blurs, transforming raw data into high-stakes decisions before the casino can react. Number 6. The financial logic behind the watch's signals turns a sliver of statistical edge into real-world profit. Every bet follows a flat percentage matrix. Low-risk cues trigger a stake of 2% of the player's bankroll, while high-confidence signals push it to 5%. The discipline is absolute. no chasing losses, no impulsive jumps. If the table's volatility spikes, the watch delivers a sharp skip alert, instructing the player to sit out until the odds stabilize. Over dozens of hands, this pattern creates a signature, steady incremental gains that blend into the noise of casino play, yet slowly accumulate. The strict matrix also serves as a behavioral fingerprint, a rhythm of chip placement and risk that stands out to the trained eye. By quantifying every risk and enforcing volume, the system transforms a tiny edge into a tangible threat, raising the stakes from mere theory to a money trail the casino can't ignore. Number 5. Every system needs its operators, and in this case the human element proved both the engine and the Achilles heel. The team behind the watch divided their roles with surgical precision. One handler monitored the data and signaled the spotter, who in turn relayed cues to the bettor at the table. Each role demanded a different kind of discipline. The bettor drilled for hours to master chip placement. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Eyes rarely met the dealers, always drifting instead to the wrist, betraying a subtle fixation that surveillance teams are trained to flag. The pattern of bets became rigid, almost mechanical. Stakes rose and fell in strict increments, never veering from the preset matrix. In the controlled chaos of the casino, this unnatural steadiness stood out. Surveillance logs later noted the player's hand rarely trembled, even under pressure, a tell that no machine could mask. These behavioral anomalies, invisible to casual observers but glaring under scrutiny, became the first cracks in the team's armor. The human factor, so essential for executing the watch's plan, ultimately fed the suspicion that brought the system into the casino's crosshairs. Number 4. The advantage promised by the watch system can be distilled into a single number: the expected value. With a projected edge of 1.5% per hand, every 1,000 hands played translates to roughly 15 extra units, profit that would otherwise belong to the house. But this edge is not a guarantee. The real world is ruled by variance, and even the best system can be buried under a streak of bad cards. Monte Carlo simulations show that in the short run, luck can mask or even erase the statistical edge, making winning and losing streaks nearly indistinguishable from random noise. Only after hundreds or thousands of hands does the edge start to emerge, visible in the slow upward bend of a profit curve. Surveillance teams watch for these curves, not just the occasional big win. For the player and the casino, the numbers are both shield and sword. A razor-thin edge always at risk of disappearing beneath the waves of variance, yet dangerous enough to demand attention when the volume gets high and the profit line refuses to flatten. Coming to the top 3, the proof package forms the backbone of the casino's case, a meticulous assembly of surveillance footage, bet logs, and incident reports that transform suspicion into certainty. Pattern recognition software flagged an anomaly in the betting rhythm, prompting a deep dive into time-stamped video archives. Frame by frame, the footage synced with chip meter exports, capturing the precise moment a second vibration rippled through the player's wrist. Every action, from the subtle shift in posture to the rapid chip placement, was logged and cross-referenced against the table's digital records. Incident reports catalogued the sequence: alert triggered, player isolated, device seized. The chain of custody documentation tracked the watch from the floor to the evidence locker, leaving no gap for doubt or error. By layering visual evidence with transactional data and official logs, the casino built an airtight narrative, one that withstood scrutiny and set the stage for the dramatic confrontation that followed. Number 2. The tension reached its peak at 7:42 p.m. when a single oversized bet set the entire floor on edge. The player, guided by the watch's silent cues, pushed $250 into the betting circle, an amount just above the table's unofficial comfort zone. A double vibration rippled across the wrist, but this time something was off. The cue arrived out of sync, lagging behind the dealer's rhythm by a crucial heartbeat. Surveillance operators, already on alert from earlier irregularities, caught the flicker of hesitation and the telltale double buzz. Within moments, A supervisor appeared at the table, eyes darting from the player's hand to the unassuming watch. The request to step aside came quietly, but left no room for negotiation. As the player was escorted from the table, the normal hum of casino play gave way to a hush, broken only by the soft shuffle of chips and the low murmur of staff. In that suspended moment, every element, technology, training, and nerves collided. The system's edge, so carefully engineered, faltered not from a hardware flaw, but from a split-second delay and the relentless scrutiny of the house. The near miss was more than a brush with fortune. It was a razor-thin escape from exposure, a reminder that in the world of high-stakes advantage play, the smallest misstep can trigger a cascade of consequences. And finally, in first place, the endgame belonged to the casino, not the watch. The system's rigid betting increments, so precise they mimicked automation, tripped a behavioral analytics flag buried deep in the surveillance software. Every bet, logged to the cent and time-stamped to the second, formed a pattern that no ordinary player could sustain. Behind the scenes, a cascade of alerts rippled through the risk management console, each one tightening the circle around the player's routine. When the device was seized, regulators required not just suspicion, but a full chain of evidence: synchronized video, chip logs, and incident reports, all cross-referenced to prove intent. The edge, calculated at just 1.5% per hand, looked formidable on paper, but was always at the mercy of variance. A lucky streak could mask a system, a cold run could bury it. In the aftermath, casinos moved quickly. New policies banned all radio frequency wearables from the floor, and detection algorithms were retrained to spot the faintest hint of mechanical betting. The lesson lingers. Strategy can push the boundaries, but the house always adapts, and the line between innovation and violation is enforced with relentless precision. Across every detail, one pattern emerges. In the world of high-stakes gaming, innovation is hunted. Every new edge forces the casino to adapt or risk collapse. The real game isn't just played at the tables, it is fought in shadows, where strategy meets suspicion, and every advantage comes with a price.